My name is Corey Rogers. I am the historian for the Lucy Cracklaney Museum of Black History in Augusta, Georgia. History has always been a part of who I am and a part of my identity, so to speak, which is pretty interesting because, you know, music has a wonderful history. Past 50 years, past 60 years is a great study in American culture and American history. I think there are certain inflection points as it relates to music history. Woodstock, for example, would be a great pivotal point in terms of defining a generation, but then also in retrospect, having younger generations look back and see if they had to pick the top 5 pivotal moments of the 1960s and early 70s, Woodstock probably would go in that top 5, top 10. That was probably my first introduction to Jimi Hendrix. And I think that his rendition of the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock was probably a defining moment in the sense that you have this culture that's beginning to change. People are asking the questions of what exactly is patriotism, how do you define it, who it belongs to, what is the American identity, but who does the American identity belong to? So I think that at a concert that is clearly defined by almost what they call the counterculture of the time, I think that he doing that sort of embodied the notion of what does it actually mean to be an American and to be patriotic. And it doesn't have to be sort of the clean cut, crew cut, military type. That was sort of the antithesis of what was happening at Woodstock, where you had the Vietnam War raging, you had other things going on in the country. And so I think that his performance there was sort of the culmination of different types of attitudes in America coming together and resonating through his music. Jimi Hendrix was unique in his approach to music, in his approach to life, his wardrobe, his attitude, and I think sort of that uniqueness that you also see in a homeboy James Brown, sort of trend setting, a cut above. Others followed them. They didn't really emulate. They were the ones they were the trendsetters. You also see a lot of that in many of your early hip hop artists who were trendsetters. It was more than just the music. It was a culture, hip hop culture, not just rap. From Run DMC and the No Shoelaces and the Shell Toe Adidas to LL Cool J and the Kangol. Those types of things were trend-setting ideas in hip-hop, and I kind of see the same embodiment of being a trendsetter, being sort of the, as RZA might say, the sound of the culture. Jimi Hendrix was sort of the sound of the culture. James Brown was the sound of the culture, and that's what made them sort of special, a cut above the rest.